Abundance. Everybody here, and everybody who ever hears this tape, has abundance or will have abundance in their life when they hear it. You have abundance. I have abundance. Abundance means more than sufficient. But what makes us think we don't have abundance is because we compare what others have, or we have expectations of what we should have. In other words, we have wants inside of us. Wants. That is a grabbing, a reaching out with force, is wanting. Now, there's no one here who does not have abundance. So what's the problem? The problem is civilization. Civilization is like the wall of China that we of the West have drawn around us. A great psychic wall of protection. That's what civilization is. To protect us. What from? From having to go and chop the firewood. From having to go and to the nearest stream and carry the water up that we want. Having to light the fire to heat the bath water. Have to go to the nearest spring to get the drinking water. You don't have to do any of that, do you? Nor do I. You don't have to look after the horses anymore. They're all in the front of the car. Don't have to clean up the horse shit anymore. And yet everyone's discontented. Because civilization and the way that we practice it destroys the quality of life. And that's what's happened to us, civilized people. We've settled for comfort and convenience and thought that we need things. And so the children all need the latest game. The children, did you ever hear such a thing, need a mobile phone? Oh, that's a good excuse, at least we know where they are. Well, you should know where they are anyway. If you were a parent. But parents are no longer parents, are they? Very few parents are parents. They're part of the civilized and sophisticated idea of parenthood. Send the kids down to someone else to look after them. Don't civilize them yourself, because civilization is in the computer, in all the computer games and the mobile phone. Do you ever hear of anything as a kid needing a mobile phone? So they're going to grow up more and more discontented. And they're the parents of tomorrow, like we're the parents of today. Oh, what a mess we've made of it. Imagine the mess they're going to make of it. You don't have to imagine, and everything follows in strict effect of effect of effect of effect of effect. But the only one who really counts is you here, and the person who listens, whoever listens to this tape. Only you count. The person next to you doesn't count. You are the only I in the universe. You are the centre of the universe. Without I in you, the universe disappears. And the demonstration of that is when you go to sleep at night and I disappear, being drawn inside somewhere to disappear into the body and into that which is beyond the body, then the whole universe comes in there with me and disappears. When I wake up in the morning, when I come to my senses, or before I come to my senses, the universe appears. And then if someone knocks me unconscious or gives me an anaesthetic, the universe disappears. And who would know if I never woke up? Who would know if I never woke up? Well, the civilized way of looking at it, the scientific way of looking at it, is to say, well, my mother and friends would know. But they don't count. I said, they don't count. There's only one I in the universe, and that's you. You're the one. Do you have abundance? You're the only one that can answer that. But you don't live as though you have abundance. You want to think about other things. If you had abundance and you really knew that you had abundance, then you wouldn't be thinking about anything. You think because you think you haven't got abundance. Well, why else would you think? Unless it was necessary to think where you parked your car. Do you have abundance? I'm asking you that. Abundance meaning more than sufficient. I here certainly have more than sufficient. I have certainly more than I need. But as it is life itself that provides for me, I have what I have. But I'm not discontented. I don't compare my position with someone else. I'm not discontented. I don't compare my love life with somebody else's. I'm not stupid enough to imagine that two people I see laughing and putting their arms around each other, that's the way it is. I'm not stupid enough for that. Because I know there's a world of appearances which is there simply to taunt me, to make me expect and compare and want other than what I have. So all the children want the newest game. Is that true or false? That is absolutely true. And I haven't had any children for some years. But I had them, don't worry. I had two of my own, and I left them at age 9 and 11 to do what I had to do. Not to go and please myself, though. To do what I had to do so that I could be here to speak the truth to you. And then I looked after a teenager from 16 to 18, lived with him and taught him all I knew and had to put up with the teenage sluggishness. And then I lived with a boy who, from the age 3 to I think he was 8 or 9. Took him in. I was like his surrogate father. I went all the way. I'm not like some of you bloody pussyfooting men who are afraid of losing your independence, who are afraid to go in and do what you've got to do because that's your move to do it, so do the whole lot instead of pussyfooting around. Pussyfooting around your own independence. Unable to give. Unable to give from the depths of you. Oh, I'm not interested in sexual attractions, which all attractions are sexual, until they're demonstrated to be love after the sexual act and weeks and months after the sexual act. And woman, unable to be responsible for her life, still falling for the same old story from man after man after man after man. Doesn't matter how often he gives it to her, she still falls down until she wakes up to herself. And that's the rarest thing that I know for a woman who really wakes up to what she loves most, and that is the unknown, the God within her, the power within her. Everybody's civilized. But there's a price to pay for it, you might have noticed. It's called discontent. Or it's called familiarity, or casualness in your relationships. Or man has to love a man because he can't love a woman because he's not up to it. Or a woman has to love a woman because she's not up to loving a man. Too independent, too frightened, afraid of being hurt and rejected, won't dive into life where it is indicated. I haven't withdrawn from life at any stage of my life. I've gone right into it. Whatever was presented to me, I went in, because everything is controlled by a greater thing than your stupid, superficial mind and emotions, or mine. I went all away, and I still go all away, and I go all away with you. For you're nothing but my children, my broader family. So abundance. I have so much that I don't need to think. I don't need to wish. That doesn't mean that images don't come into my intellect. Everyone, doesn't matter what master you've been listening to and how pure he is and all that bullshit. Images still come into the intellect. An image of somewhere where you haven't been for 50 years or 20 years, and suddenly it's there. An image of someone that you haven't seen or thought of for years, and suddenly the image is there. Doesn't matter, but it's random. Random. It comes there, but you don't have to think about it. Because if you don't think about it, it evaporates, disintegrates, and thinking ends, because you're in charge of your life. I won't have anything in my intellect between the intelligence that is here and the intellect, which is the divine mirror inside every one of us. I won't have a mind between it, between the intelligence that's here, the superficial intelligence that's here, and the intellect within. I won't have anything between it. I won't have any wanting. I won't have any wishing. I won't have any praying, because that's all mind stuff. I won't have any belief. So I won't make this human mind. I will not have it, except to remember where I parked my car, and I'm not too good at that either. So I've got abundance. And why do I have abundance? Why does Barry Long live in paradise and have abundance? I actually live in paradise. More bit of my life is paradise. This is part of paradise for me, being able to speak with you the truth. That's paradise. To have an unceasing flow of truth every moment of my life. That's paradise. To live where I live is paradise. To live with the woman I live with is paradise. There are no problems in my life. None whatever. I am utterly and completely fulfilled. How come? Because I have an abundance. I have abundance. All you've got to do is acknowledge what you have. Not what you want. Not your discontent that you want a man, or you want a woman, or you want a stable relationship, or you want to know yourself, or you want to be enlightened. All that bullshit. How about just enjoying your life? Well, you can't enjoy your life, can you? Because everybody's busy enjoying their self. And yourself is not your life. Yourself is the product of living. May I ask you, ladies, please, why you are so late? What is the reason, please? Pardon?
We went whale watching this morning, Barry, and it was late back, the boat.
I see. Fair enough, okay. Okay. Yes, you can't help accidents, you can't help those sort of things. But I don't have people arrive late just because they please themselves. We're here to awaken now. Awaken. The whales are not going to help you. I mean, it's all very lovely to watch nature, isn't it? It's all very lovely. But what about life? Nature's not life. So abundance. Now, if you were silly enough in what I'm saying, if you were silly enough to think, well, what about the starving people in Africa? Have they got abundance? If you were silly enough to say that to me, then I'd find it very difficult to speak to you because you're too stupid. Because I only speak to the people who are in front of me. Everything else is imagination. Everything else is your rational mind, reflecting on your memory, reflecting on what somebody's told you, reflecting on something outside yourself. And that leads to discontent and unhappiness. Why don't you just be concerned with your own discontent and unhappiness? Because it's that sort of thing, worrying about everything not outside your purview, that causes more discontented waves, more waves of ignorance and unhappiness. To all the people, if there are any people starving, then they suffer because of your waves of ignorance. All mine, if I were to give in to them. We have no idea in this civilization of the enormous consequences of my ignorance in this body and in that body listening to these words. Because we have no conception of the fact that this is a psychic existence. That these little bodies that run around and drive motor cars and cars going backwards and forwards, they're just appearances. What is the fact of this? What is the fact of this living life? What is the fact of it? The fact of it is whether you're unhappy, whether you want something, whether you're discontented. You, not the one in the car, the one in the body that's driving the car. The one that's thinking while you're driving instead of being in your senses. The one that's got the radio playing the idiotic music, the idiotic talkbacks, playing the music. That's the idiot in this civilization. But am I making it up? So why are you ever unhappy if you have abundance? Because until you acknowledge that you have abundance, you can't have abundance. You see? It's as simple as that. That's the facticity of life. We don't want the fact of life. We want the impression of life. We want the emotional ups or downs of living. We don't want the facticity of it. The fact is that if that body, whatever's in that body, if there is unhappiness, then it is going to spread psychically all round everywhere, to your mother, your father, your children, the people that you work with. It's going to go there invisibly and affect them and add to their unhappiness and their discontent. And all the bit of chat that you have, the useless chat that you have, which is meaningless, distributes a meaningless ignorance, so everybody engages in stupid chat. Now there's a place for talking, of course, because we have an ignorance in us which we can't avoid, represented by our mind, which is the past. We have an ignorance. So we need entertainment. Fair enough. We need a bit of entertainment. But we don't need that much. We just need enough entertainment. We need enough talk to talk. But do we need to talk and chat as much as we do? Is there no restraint in us? No natural restraint to not talk or chat about nothing so much? So everyone in front of me has abundance, meaning more than enough, more than sufficient.